Mark was my son. I loved him. Mark died in August 2021. It may have been his time to die, but Mark was never the same after being in hospital. Mark was damaged. His manhood was damaged. This was never acknowledged by the NHS, by the hospital, by the doctors. When one goes into hospital, they expect to come out better. This didn't happen to Mark. Mark's manhood was damaged. He was not allowed after that to have a relationship, to have children, for me to have grandchildren. While in hospital, Mark had 2 toes from his right foot damaged. This was never acknowledged either. Mark could not wear a pair of shoes all his life, 30-odd years. We took this in exchange for his life at the time.
My Uncle Mark was very, very big on developing our musical talent because he loved music, he loved the jam, he loved playing guitar, he loved instruments, he loved the voice, he loved writing music. So he would, for me, because I couldn't play an instrument, he encouraged my voice as my instrument, so would get us to sing. And I've shared before that he was very honest about, you know, he wouldn't shy away from giving honest feedback, which I really admired about him. And he would tell us if our voice was not in tune, and I think we were like, as children around, his nieces and nephews would be working really hard to try and impress our Uncle Mark with our voice. And then when we found that, like, eventually me and my sister, I think we've both got quite good singing voices. We loved the fact that Uncle Mark would encourage that, and he liked that. So once he knew that me and my sister could sing, he was always encouraging us to sing when we was around. He'd always get us to stand up and share our voice as our instrument.
Love games, love games, love games are the ones that we both play. There's you and I flying high in our minds. Maybe together we could reach the higher spot. If I'm miles away, I'm alone. I've just got to reach you by your soul.
He was just so warm and funny and friendly and you know, and I've said to Bev, I didn't get enough of that.
He could really make you laugh. He was a master of impersonations. He could practically impersonate anyone. He was very good at accents, and you know, we could be there, and then he'll be someone locally he may be talking about, and he'll just all of a sudden just go into their character, into their mannerisms, their voice. So I think that was his best quality. When Mark was funny, he was a joy to be around.
Mark as a child was very funny from the moment he came out of the womb. Everybody loved him. He was such a lovely child growing up.
Mark was very, his sense of humor was very dry. He was a very intelligent guy. Very, very talented. And he's very knowledgeable.
I came to know Mark through a very good friend of mine called Kofi, who's a musician, percussion player. Kofi kept saying, "You've got to see my friend, you've got to hear my friend Mark sing, you've got to hear my friend Mark sing, you've got to hear him."
There was a lot of soul in what he was doing. He had a beautiful voice, you know, and that if you ever met Mark, that wouldn't surprise you. That would be a reflection of I think, who he was.
When I heard Mark sing, that was it, basically, for me. It was, honestly, he was like Donny Hathaway. His voice was incredible, absolutely incredible. And I was so shocked when I was like, whoa, you know, I couldn't believe it. So every time he used to come round and I was working, I used to say, "Mark, please can you sing this song?" Because I wanted to hear what it would sound like. And when he sung it, I was like, God, that's really good, you know, because I could hear Mark singing it. And it was sad, really sad, because his voice was incredible. He was gifted, absolutely gifted. He sung effortlessly. It was like Donny Hathaway. He was like Donny Hathaway in your living room. And it was sad in a sense, because he was never going to go anywhere really with that. But it was a joy, an absolute joy, to have him sing and just listen to him, really, just listen to him, because it was amazing. And I never heard anyone sing like that in this country, quite frankly.
Turning in my bed, breaking the silence, saying something that I've got to do. But you'll always be another step from me. But breaking the silence says something that I've learned to do. Breaking the silence says something that I've got to do. Keep on telling me that I'm what you see.
I missed Sue.
Yes, you know
The boy with the guitar looked nice, sort of dangerous and in control.
it's just like you believe.
I can't even play piano.
This world I live.
If they dropped the bomb now, I thought, we'd be all right down here, hidden away and invisible to the planes.
I don't know where it leads to. I don't know why.
In the third years of junior school, I think it must have been around Christmas, Mark, it was an assembly, and there were various performances, and Mark, he did the Christmas Carol by himself. He did all the characters off by heart, and he had the crowd in the palm of his hand. He had us in stitches.
I get up early every morning, surprised to see the sun is shining again. Yet another day is calling, calling yet another piece of me. And what my friend says is that he knows just where I stand. Treat me like nobody else he knows. And why he stays, I guess I'll never know. treats me like it's with extra special care.
He was just so musical, so talented, had this like big light goal inside him to get his music out into the world, his creativity out into the world, and he was always encouraging of his nieces and nephews to do the same. So whenever we had the opportunity to visit, it would be what I would describe as a music jam. He would, first things first, pretty much as soon as we'd see him, he was like, right, sit down, we're getting the guitar out, I want you guys to sing. He inspired us to write music. We were very inspired because he wrote so much of his own music and had all of that in a little booklet.
When he was 9 years old, he wrote a script about Dickens' Hard Times, and he performed that in school, where everybody enjoyed, because this was probably new to most of the children, a 9-year-old writing a script written and performed by him. So, you know, I always knew that Mark has something. How, as a single mother, to bring that out wasn't easy. But I think by the time he was 15, 16, I knew that now I had to give him the instrument that I know that he wants. So I took him for his birthday to buy him his first proper guitar.
Mark started to learn to play the guitar. His mother had bought him an acoustic guitar. I remember going around to his house, and all of a sudden I just saw this guitar. And he was playing bass lines on the guitar. So he was playing The Police. You know that song, Giant Steps Are What We Take? Boo boo doo, changing giant steps are what we... So yeah, I asked him to show me how to do it, and he did. So the first thing I learned on the guitar was the bass line for Giant Steps by The Police.
He influenced me to do music, and to this day I don't think I've met anyone as talented as Mark in the music business in this country, and I've worked with a lot of people, and for me he was the best singer-songwriter this country has never known. He was amazing, amazing talent. He should have been up there, he should have been superstar, but it just didn't turn out that way. You know.
He was a very humble man, you know, a very sensitive, humble man, and he was unable to cope with being put on any kind of pedestal. And I think he hid away in this sort of alcohol and whatever else to hide away from that. He really couldn't handle his talent. He really couldn't handle it. And he didn't have, I guess, that inner strength that you need to survive. And although he was doing all sorts of things, I don't think he was meant to be there, in a sense. It was sad for me to see that, especially with the talent that he had, but it seemed like he wasn't able to be in that skin. He couldn't do it.
He had a little home studio thing that he used to do with himself, and he could press the button and do a song in one take, and then like go away, sit down. Oh, I don't like this. I'm going to write this song here, or he'd change chords, come back. He was very efficient, very efficient, very efficient. And like I said, you know, he was a loss to the music world, really. He was a loss to himself in a way. You know, he sort of, I don't know if he had enough confidence in what he did, even though everybody told him how amazing he was. It's sad, really. It really is sad. Because we all tried to encourage him, say, Mark, man, there is nobody that writes music like you. And I'm so glad you're doing this so people can get to know what this guy was all about, his talent. He had a fantastic personality, like we've already talked about, very knowledgeable about most things. And he's a sad loss, really. He's a sad loss. Some people can come and go and not too much memorable things, but Mark, he will always be there, and his talent will always be there. Yeah.
It's interesting to meet Mark because so long after the event, his accident, because I was really piecing together what Mark might have been able to do before that. So it was quite tricky for me to get a complete picture of it. But what was really apparent was the sort of soul of Mark's music, if you like, and the soul of the guy. And it was my job to figure out the communication that he was giving to me. And so he would sing a song and he would sort of frame out the chords on the guitar.
He was gifted, very, very gifted. He sang really effortlessly, if you know, he would just open his mouth, and he would also sing in a way which was unique. He had the Donny Hathaway tone, which was just that rich soul tone. And he was very brilliant as a singer, very brilliant. Very brilliant. I used to do a lot of writing, and I used to get him to sing my songs, and it was like they took a life, they took on life with his voice. And you know, you can only do that if you're a great artist, really. So he was a great artist.
I think he was so incredibly smart. I think he would have, I don't think you could have put him in a box. So I think he would have been such a super talented musician, singer and songwriter and composer, because he could make his own music. So there's that. I think he would have been, I think he could have written for artists. I think people would have been paying lots of money for his songs. I think also he would have been clever in other areas, like he had like quite a political mind. He was very much not swayed on his thoughts and his position, which I really admired about him. He would say what he believed, even if it, you know, wasn't, he wouldn't like follow the herd kind of thing. He was very leader energy, my Uncle Mark. And that's one thing that I say about him a lot, is that I wish that I had that level of not being afraid to say no or say how I feel, because I really respected that about him. So yeah, I think he could have gone on to, my poem that I wrote was like, who could you have been without your accident? Who was you? Who was it that was fighting to get out? And I think that's why he pushed through so much of his discomforts in life, of what he had to live through and go through, because he felt like he had something to offer, and he did. Everyone could see it. It was just enclosed by so much physical limitations.
This is one of my favourite songs by Mark. I can't remember all of it, so I'll just sing a few bars and the chorus, just to give an example of some of Mark's stuff. It's called Loser in Love, and here we go. Let's see if I can get anywhere near how Mark sang it. There's a girl outside in the rain, and the rain seeps through her clothes. She said she's lost her man to a train, and the train was just passing by. She's a loser in love, yeah. She's a loser. Loser in love, yeah, yeah. She's a loser. Oh. you know, listen to that progression. So it's a story. So there's a girl outside in the rain, and the rain seeps through her clothes. She said she's lost her man to a train, and the train was just passing by. Come on. She's a loser in love. A loser. But that it's not a negative. She's just lost a love of her life, basically. But it's the way you put it. You know, and the way he phrased his lyrics, and just amazing. And you heard me singing it. You heard the soul of it, and that was Mark. All of his songs, not most of his songs, and he could sit there and write those songs in an hour, half an hour, an hour, and it's like, oh my word, amazing. So yeah. I hope we've given you some essence of Mark, because he was an amazing character, an amazing artist. Yeah?
There's a girl outside in the rain, and the rain seeps through her clothes. She said she'd lost her man to a train, and the train was just passing by. She's a loser in love, a loser. She's a loser in love, a loser. There is a man who rides on a train, and he just can't conceal the pain. And he said he lost his girl to words that were only just passing by. He's a loser in love, a loser. He's a loser in love, a loser.
He was very, very sensitive person, very open, very giving, and very wanting to please. You know, very, he was lovely. I mean, it was a lovely, lovely temperament, very, very harmless in a way, harmless.
I know he loved his mom, and he loved his family, and he loved his food, he loved his reggae, he loved his music. I would say he loved life.
I'm going to share with you a poem that I wrote after my Uncle Mark passed away. I wrote it for Uncle Mark and for family members and friends and just anyone to hear what he meant to me and, what I felt about him. It's called Uncle Mark. He had a beautiful voice and a gift for the strings, songwriting and music among his favourite things. We see qualities in others that we know in the me, so a talent in others he could always see. With intellect so sharp, I always believed humanity will be greater when good health sets him free. His music will heal, he creates from the heart. He'll be amongst the great with his music and art. He gets straight to the point and is not afraid to say no. He'll be a political force and unite friends and foes. On the topic of science, the world's missing out. Global solutions, I'm sure Uncle Mark could figure it out. Let's talk about fashion. Uncle Mark, He had style. We'll see his designs on the runway aisles. Talking of aisles, who and how will he love? I'm sure that will be a driving force for his gifts from above. But you never got to hear much of his music or see him act. We could not benefit from all his gifts, and I'm sorry for that. He never really got better, but he always did fight, outsmarting the doctors with all his might. So to me, he is an example of how life must go on, not from the body, but it's soulfully long. For Uncle Mark makes me believe that souls must come back, because there's no way he'll be gone for long with talents like that. He may rest for a while, feel no weight of a body, but in more ways than one, he'll grace us again. On the day of his passing, I picked up a pen. Inspired by Uncle Mark and what he had inside, his creative sparks will for now be my guide.
Tell me how long it's been since you've been gone, and how have you been without our two-way mind? Feelings inside I cannot hide. The waves and the tide have swallowed my pride. Seeing your face won't pull me back into place, but holding you will for a while. Dream all I can, that I am the man who you know I should take your hand. But dream all I do, I dream to go through. What's missing is you, and this is so true. Seeing your face won't pull me back into place, but holding you will for a while. Holding back my love was my first mistake. Giving love to you won't be my last. Saxophone solo. Da 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 do 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 do. Seeing your face pulls me back into place. Holding you will for a while. Dream all I do, dream to go through. What's missing is you, this is so true. Seeing your face won't pull me back into place, but holding you will for a while, for a while. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do 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 do. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.